Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I've got a super important topic, probably one of the most important topics that I've ever recorded in terms of the MyListing community. So we're at a critical juncture right now with this theme, its future, and everybody should be concerned that uses this theme. In my opinion, I'm gonna outline the reasons for me saying that. I am doing this video because I care, obviously, about this theme. I care about its future. I care about you guys because so many thousands of people have put this theme behind their business. They're relying on this theme to generate income for their families, for themselves, making an impact on communities. Like if you're running a directory for animal shelters, for example, that those pets, those animals that need help are relying on your directory. If you're running a directory to help homeless people, those homeless people are counting on that directory. This is more than just about money. This is more than that. This is that themes can power businesses. They can power change. They can have a massive positive influence on people's lives. And the fact that people are trusting the MyListing theme to be part of their engine, along with WordPress and other solutions, the MyListing theme is at the core. And they, in my opinion, if I was the owner of this theme, I would have an obligation to do what is best for my customers, at the very least in terms of accessibility, making sure the theme is secure, those fundamental web design practices that we should just assume are there or that are going to be taken care of in a timely fashion. Now, updates for software can be months and months at a time before they come out. Months could go by before those updates come out, and that's totally fine. That's not what we're talking about here. The concern is fundamental web design best practices are not being followed. They're not being listened to. Updates are not coming out to fix those issues. In my opinion, this is a sign, a critical sign that we need to speak up. We need to know where the direction of the MyListing theme is going, or as much as they will tell us. I'm not going to get into, competition where I'm not going to competition with the theme. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals about where I think and make assumptions on what I think part of the problem is. I'm not going to get into all of that. You guys are intelligent enough to know. You've been around the MyListing communities. There's various communities to know there's other stuff going on. It's the elephant in the room, if you will. If you go to the MyListing help desk, you're going to see right away what potentially a negative influence, as far as not seeing releases like we used to. There's also, you have to take into account that ThemeForest and Envato has been sold. It has been bought by Shutterstock. So there's some concerns there about what's coming for solutions like themes and plugins that are on the marketplace for the old Envato ThemeForest setup. So there's that to contend with. So in this video, I'm going to run through, we're going to talk about MyListing releases or the lack thereof in the history. I'm going to talk about potential ways that you can help influence this, hopefully. And we're going to talk about a really important thing that's coming in 2025 that could easily get you sued as a business owner running a MyListing website. It's not just a MyListing thing. It is anybody running a website, especially an e-commerce site. You're in the crosshairs of the European Union and you could easily get sued. So we're going to cover that. This is no joke. It is, look it up. I'm going to actually show you their website here in a bit. Okay. I've already alluded to the elephant in the room. I'm not going to, it's like the name that shall not be mentioned. I'm not going to get into all that. I don't want to get into all that. You guys can figure out what that is if you don't already know. And then let's just talk about the future, okay? All right, so first up, MyListing releases or lack thereof. So if we look here on ThemeForest, just go to ThemeForest and type in MyListing, or just Google MyListing ThemeForest. You're going to come here and let's drop down to the changelog. You can also, right at the very top there, depending if you're on mobile or desktop or whatever, you're going to see the last update. That's just the easiest way to see it, actually. The last update was February 17th. So February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 7 months, over 7 months. Sorry, over 6 months since the last update, right? March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, 6 months since the last update. Like I said, that in of itself is not a massive issue. There's lots of other really popular WordPress solutions that go that long without an update. Now, when I say that, I mean like new features, new bells and whistles, things of that nature. But what you don't see typically is a lack of updates at all, like no security fixes, no fixes like for accessibility, which we're going to talk about here in a second. Those minor updates that could be released from time to time just to show us you are actively caring about this theme anymore, right? I brought up an issue, which we're going to look at here in a second, for accessibility, a massive accessibility issue with the font size that MyListing employs. That could have been released in just an update of itself, and I think people would have really appreciated it. And instead, here we are 6 months later, and we don't even have that. I'm not saying that what I am pointing out should take precedence over everything else, but it's just an example of something that's small for them to fix, but has major impacts across all MyListing website owners, okay? There's just a major lack of awareness in doing the right thing. It's just my opinion, okay? It's actually more than an opinion, it's fact. You can see right here in the changelog, okay? So if we look here, like I said, 6 months since the last update. And then if you go back a little bit further, October, November, December, January, February, 4 months went by. That was pretty significant, okay? But they did come out with a pretty big update here, okay? So if we go back here to the very beginning, and you scroll through this, you will notice that there was never a time where we went this long without updates. I think this one right here that I just pointed out, the last one, where we went 4 months between 2.11.4 and 2.11.5, that was 4 months. That until now, that was the longest. So the trend that we are seeing here is that the update cycles are getting longer and longer and longer. Now, what this typically can mean is that the product is maturing, and I think MyListing has reached a massive mature point, meaning it's got probably some of the biggest features it's going to have for a while, in between updates. The big updates are going to be fewer and farther between. Now, I could be wrong. They could just surprise us and drop version 3.0. That would be a total surprise. They could do that, and with some massive big updates. I don't know. But as things are going, the trend is getting worse, and it needs to be rectified, or we need some sort of clue, like transparency. That's the word I'm trying to find. Some transparency as to what's going on here. Like, if this is the trend that we can expect, tell us that. Like, you don't plan to address critical issues within minor updates, and you're only going to do that within major updates. Maybe people aren't going to want to use your theme if you continue to do that. Maybe people aren't going to want to continue to use this theme if these updates get further and further and further apart, okay? There's growing questions within the MyListing support help desk and in the comments section of ThemeForest, okay? The concern is growing. Now, as soon as I drop this video, MyListing may drop an update. Like, that's great, and I hope that happens. I hope that happens. But there is still, even if they do that, people are going to see it and they're, oh, great, we can do this and we can do that, and they're they're not seeing the bigger picture of the trend that is happening. You know, they might see a shiny new feature that comes out or whatever that they've been looking for, or you might have those fanboys of MyListing that no matter what, I'm going to ride or die, and no matter, MyListing can do no wrong. Like, if you guys care about your business and you're running it on MyListing, this should be a concern to you. Hell, I am running, one of my businesses hinges on the MyListing theme. Why do you guys think that I would be bringing this to light when it could actually hurt my own business? It's because I care that much. Now, that said, whatever happens here, and we'll get to this kind of at the end, don't worry. Like, part of the reason I can confidently say this stuff is don't worry about what's going on here. I'll get into it in a second. Stay tuned until the end of the video to see what I mean by that, okay? Okay, so that's the concern, all right? The releases are getting fewer and farther between. So my ask to you is, if you have an active support agreement with MyListing, which you should, if you're using this theme, could be part of the problem. You need to have an active support agreement with these guys to support their work, okay? I will take a second to defend them. If you are not supporting their work by having an active support license, that you are part of the problem, okay? Get in there, get an active support. I've had an active support license. I've had multiple actually to support them over the 5+ years I've been with MyListing, supporting them. Everybody that uses this theme should have an active support agreement, even if you don't need support from them. It's very inexpensive for what they are providing you to help you build and run a business, okay? So go out there and do that. If you have an active support agreement, my plea to you is to go into the help desk and everyone start asking about what is up with this update cycle. You can reference my video if you want. You don't have to. You can just take bits and pieces from what I'm saying. Say, hey, we've noticed that it was 4 months before the last update. Now it's 6 months, and we're noticing this trend of, and we're very concerned. You know, they're probably not going to tell you transparently what they have planned underneath the hood for MyListing and its future. They're not going to tell you that because they don't want you to make a decision based on that. They want you to stay using the theme, and they're going to give you as much information as they feel they need to give you to keep this thing going, right? So what you could do is go into the MyListing help desk. Everybody blast them, create a ticket. Don't blast them, but blast the help desk with a ticket of your own. Don't just pile into other people's tickets. Create one of your own so the noise is heard. What is up with these updates, guys? What is the future of MyListing? What's going on, okay? If you don't have a support agreement, which you should, and you still just, for whatever reason, you do not want to go out and support them, jump here in Theme Forest, into the MyListing product, and go here under comments, right here. So click into this comments. Post there. People are already posting there. If you do a search for the word update in here, you're going to see some posts. And then, like I said, the concerns are growing. Okay, so you should add to that concern. Let people. They're not answering. Okay, if you go into the MyListing help desk, they're not answering questions about updates. If you go in here, they're not answering questions about updates. They're very quiet on that front. Okay, so that's my plea there. The next thing I want to point out that's one of my biggest concerns is in 2 years ago now, so September 2022, I posted an inaccessibility issue with the root font size that MyListing uses. It goes against the fundamental. I'm not even a developer, and I know just enough development to do certain things, but even as I'm not a theme developer, but I know that web print, the basic fundamentals of creating the theme and what it's supposed to do and what it's supposed to output, they went against that for some reason. And the root font size is improperly defined, which means inaccessible fonts. Okay? I've not only reported this 2 years ago, I found a temporary fix for it, which then again broke. So I had to post about this again, and it is still not fixed. And this one was over a year ago since I said, okay, we found a fix. I found a fix, and now it's broke again. Okay, so that is the biggest concern for me, is that if this stuff is not important enough for them to fix, what else is important to fix? They're willing to put all of our websites at risk to be sued, and we're going to look at that here in a second. It's just one example. Like if that's not important to you to protect your customers, then what are we doing? What are we doing? What are your concerns? Okay, I'm not saying that just because I posted this ticket, I should have any preferential treatment or priority or anything like that. If I didn't care, I wouldn't even be posting about this. I would just fix my own sites and my client sites, and I would move on if I didn't care about this theme and the community as a whole. But again, the fanboys of MyListing, that MyListing can do no wrong, say whatever you want in the comments of this video. I don't really care. Say it in my help desk tickets. I don't really care. You're wrong. You're flat out wrong. If you are whatever, if you just want to be combative and argumentative, fine. Go in the comments of this video. Let's have at it. Tell me where I'm wrong about any of this stuff. Okay? When updates are released and you see, oh, this is the best update since sliced bread, and oh, we're so grateful to you. Guys, if you haven't noticed in the WordPress landscape, things are changing rapidly, guys. Like, this stuff is not tolerated with any other theme out there. This practice is not tolerated. This needs to be put on notice, okay? All right, let's get away from this. The European Accessibility Act, EAA, coming in 2025. Again, I don't even need to tell you guys this. If I didn't care, all right? That's the whole point. In 2025, this is going into effect, okay? It's going to affect all of these things. In short, it's going to affect you. If you're using the MyListing theme to build a website, this affects you. That's all you need to know. You can read through this if you want. Let's go down here. What are the consequences of non-compliance? Let's blow this up here. The EAA will be enforced through market surveillance by individual EU nations and organizations that fail to comply. Let me get rid of this message right here. Organizations that fail to comply may face significant consequences. While specific penalties vary from country to country, punitive measures may include steep fines up to 3 million euros, the removal of products or services from the market, and the suspension of an organization's right to do business. Okay, do you want to risk this? You can say, this doesn't apply to me. They're not going to find me. They're not going to do you want to take that risk? If you've been running a MyListing website for 4 or 5 years, you've got hundreds and hundreds of customers, thousands and thousands of listings. Do you want to risk this embarrassment? Do you want to this could shut you down. Like, this is not fear mongering. Go anywhere in any WordPress community and look this up. This is real shit, folks. Like, real stuff. And I don't even know what else to say here, guys. It's just real shit. Like, and you need to defend yourself. And to do that with MyListing, you either need a developer to fix all this stuff, or you need to go to the MyListing help desk or their comment section on ThemeForest, and you need to talk to them about this and the other stuff that they're not updating. This is just one example, all right? Okay, so let's discuss the elephant in the room. I wasn't actually going to do this in this video. Let's do it. Let's talk about Voxel, okay? I am not here to bash Voxel. I am not here to bash the developers behind Voxel, which is also the developers behind MyListing. I am not going to speculate. I don't even care what their organizational structure is, what their team is doing, who's working on what, who's not working on what. That is none of my business. It's none of our business. It's their business. But what is my business, what is your business, is trying to understand the future of where MyListing is going. Are they only going to focus on Voxel? Are they going to get rid of MyListing? Are they going to sell it? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? Are they just going to keep stringing people along? Okay. Who knows? That's what I'm asking for everybody, to try to find a way to demand it, get answers, and find out what's what. One thing that I will say is I did use Voxel. Full transparency. I did use it. I spun up the Voxel Club because I thought, there was a general fear, concern. I need to help my clients get over from MyListing to Voxel. I need to learn this stuff inside and out. So what's the best way to do that? Form the Voxel Club and help people transition that want to transition, not necessarily need to, because you don't need to transfer to Voxel. Voxel is not the same as MyListing in any way, shape, or form. It's more complex. It does way more things, and that's good and bad. Depending on the website owner, it's good and there's bad aspects to that. Okay, I'm not going to get into all that. They're completely separate tools for completely separate markets, completely separate user bases. Okay, it's just two different things. Okay, MyListing is what I chose to stick with after using Voxel. It's not that Voxel was too complicated for me. It wasn't. It's just it's just not where I wanted to be. It's not what I wanted to use. It's not the people that I wanted to help. I wanted to stick loyal to the MyListing people, the MyListing community, the client base that I had built up, the products that I had built, and just stay in my lane and not try to do both even, or just go to Voxel. So I'm ride or dying with MyListing. One way or another, the MyListing Club company is going to ride or die with the MyListing theme. Obviously, that's the name of it, right? I'm never going to Voxel. I'm never going to try to do the Voxel Club again in the future. It's never happening. Okay, it's just my preference. I didn't care for the theme personally. Okay, so that's the elephant in the room. And all of these years or whatever since Voxel first came out, I've avoided talking about it. There's no need to avoid talking about it anymore. It's not in direct competition with MyListing, because to me, like I said, they're two different things if you actually use it. Okay, so the future. Let's talk about the future. No matter what happens to MyListing, okay, whether we continue down this road that we are currently on with these lack of transparency, lack of a roadmap, lack of, the updates are fewer and farther between, like that's one path that we could go down and we could tolerate that. There's another path we could go down where we don't tolerate that and I do something about that. Okay. An example of that is if by chance you've been following along the WordPress ecosystem, maybe you've heard of a product called HWP that's going to be coming out in September, I believe. And it's there to fix some underlying WordPress problems, issues that have been going on since the Gutenberg project. And it's not to replace WordPress. It's to make using it better and fixing all of those issues and all of that type of thing. So there's that first path that I gave you, and that is we just deal with it, the MyListing theme updates and the situation we currently have, and that's it. The next path is the club does what's similar to HWP and is doing for WordPress, and I do it for MyListing. I've already thought about what that might look like. That is an avenue, okay? The third avenue is doing something drastically different to push the MyListing theme forward, okay? Not going to get into that in this video, but it's been on my mind too. We will see what happens, okay, with all of this stuff. But for now, I just want to say that those using MyListing or those considering using MyListing, I've seen the other side. There are differences. There are things that are better. There are things that are worse, in my opinion. I'm just saying, if you're using MyListing or you're thinking about using, don't worry about the future one way or another. You'll be taken care of. Okay, that's all I can really say right now. But don't let the future of the MyListing theme sway you into not using it right now or using it in the future. You will be taken care of. That's all I'm going to say. You will be taken care of. But yeah, guys, go out. If you care about this theme, if you care about its longevity, continue and having a better experience with it, go out, voice your concerns. I wouldn't do this video if I didn't care. I would just sit quietly behind the scenes and do my own thing with my clients. Okay, which that is also an option too. We'll just have to see where things go. Yeah, there's like 4 different avenues that we could go here. A couple of them I could go without you, or like without the general MyListing public. I could just do something more intimate, private to my clients only, my community only. So that is another avenue. Hopefully it doesn't have to come to that, but we'll just see what happens. But yeah, go out, make your voices heard, demand answers, whatever that looks like to you. And yeah, hope you guys got something from this video, and just know that I care about this project, this company, MyListing Club, this theme, MyListing, this community, the MyListing community. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video.